The following podcast contains naughty language and ridiculous situations. Listener discretion is advised.
Shit. Right now, I feel like Mr. Miracle. Who's that guy? Houdini, and whoever Hugh Jackman played in that magic movie. And I'm strapped. I feel like I'm strapped in chains and I'm gagged, even though I'm doing an intro, and that's hard to fully understand. But somehow I'm speaking with a gag on. And but nevertheless, I shackled. I'm trying to get out, but I can't say what I want to say except for welcome to Trick or Treat Radio.
Welcome to... I don't even know what the fuck is going on. Why are you chained, Raven Shadow? What's going on here? Welcome to episode 552 of Trick or Treat Radio. Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most dangerous podcast. It is recorded in front of... Okay, the video didn't start. What? This is dumb. This whole fucking show is dumb. Let me get the camera going there. Okay, my little
curse is something there.
It is cursed. My control, my Stream Deck. I hit the right thing and it didn't work, and then I looked away to something else, and it's all messed up.
It's a shame because they missed out on my killer jamming drumming.
Yeah, they also missed out on your intro too. All right. Well, the drumming has stopped, so there you go. So, Trick or Treat Radio is the world's most technically inept podcast. Well, not really. Sometimes we are. And is recorded in front of an undead studio audience here at Castle Wolfenstein, also at the Lair of Lost Swag within the Raven Chateau, where he is bound and gagged and chained and just can't say anything he wants to say, apparently.
It's true, I've been censored.
And also from Casa de Zero in up near Saskatchewan, Canada. No, I don't know. Where are you now? New Brunswick?
Central Maine.
Well, what's the closest part of Canada? That's all I care about right now.
Oh, I don't know. I've never been to Canada.
You're like right on the fucking doorstep.
Oh, I know. I'm closer to Canada than I am where I used to live.
Yeah. You got to get... Do you have a passport?
No.
You should get a passport just so you can fucking cross the border. Go to Canada.
Yeah. I got some drugs I got to sell.
Jesus. Yeah, that'll get you across the border just fine. No problem.
Getting into Canada is real easy. At least it was in like 2007. You'd go to cross the border and they'd be like, do you have any drugs or weapons on you? And your response is like, no. All right, well, go on in, boy. Have fun. Here's some bacon. Here you go. Here's a hockey stick. Coming back across
They give you
the
a
board.
hockey stick?
Yeah, they get you. Yes, you play the game. Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow, nice.
They have weird currency. They have pictures of like hockey players.
And Tim Hortons coffee.
Oh, he's not on their money.
No, Tim Hortons coffee.
Yeah. No, that was in a hotel room. Yeah, we had that. Yeah. And like not even like you think they put like Gretzky on the money, but no, it's just like number 12.
Yeah, and you could go visit. Yeah, if George Romero was still alive, you could visit him or the Iron Sheik.
Or the Iron Sheik.
Come to the falls. I'll make you humble.
All right. Well, on tonight's show, we will be talking about the film The Outwaters. A new found footage film that just dropped on Screambox. So if you guys have Screambox, they've been getting some really good stuff, and there's some good stuff coming up. So it looks like there are going to be some pretty decent competition for Shudder, or maybe not necessarily competition, but in addition to it, it'll round out your horror lineup. So if that's something that interests you guys, give Screambox a look. And I think it's relatively inexpensive, $4.99 a month, I want to say, and they may even have some free trials and whatnot out there. So it is streaming on. It's screaming on Streambox. How about that? It's streaming on Screambox.
I do enjoy Whatnot, so I might look into that.
Is that your new favorite candy bar, Whatnot?
Yep. Chocolate with nougat.
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 So that's what we're doing tonight. We're going to be talking about the Outwaters. I'm looking forward to talking about this one. It's been getting a lot of buzz, and it seems like we have between. I did see the Outwaters mentioned in the same sentence as Skinamarink several times. I would caution people about using them in the same sentence because I think they're two very different films. We'll get into it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I want to talk about that part when we start talking about the film. I don't want to derail.
Yeah, but I think that I think they're similar in the fact that they are, maybe inspired by a few generations ago of cinema, and and also they're low budget, found footage ish films. This is definitely a found footage film. Skinamarink is questionable as to whether we could call that a found footage. It has the makings of one, but it's presented as a film. And that is more of an art. We've talked about sort of more of an arts sort of film. I wouldn't call it an art film. I call it experimental. That's the word I'm looking for. More of an experimental horror film where I feel like this is a little bit more straightforward in terms of that. So we'll be getting into it, though, when we talk about it in just a little bit. If you guys are, I don't know, if you're new to the show, we always just do the same things, and we just assume people have heard the show before. But if anyone's new to the show, we typically do a little preamble, little intro. I don't know. You have some fancy name for it, Raven Shadow, that you want to call it?
Yeah, the amuse-bouche.
The no, we're not gonna call it the amuse-bouche.
What? It's the foreplay.
Just because you know what it means doesn't mean everybody knows what it means.
But I told you guys are smart like me. And
well, I don't think I actually knew before you started using it, because I think if I remember correctly, I had to ask you what it was.
Yeah, it's the appetizer before the appetizer. It's to get your mouth wet.
Did you just use the phrase "smart like me"?
Thank you.
Did you really just say that?
What's funny is I said that, and it took both of you a minute.
Raven Shadow. Raven Shadow. Raven Shadow. The only thing with your head I would consider it being would be just another hat rack, if you wore hats.
He wears hats once in a while, remember? The one we gave shit for? The one that shall not be named, apparently.
That's a misconception.
Raven Shadow gets mad, so we won't bring it up.
It's not true what you said that hat was.
Hot button topic.
Oh, man. So, let me read Creepy Girl. She was mad that we were late. There was an ordeal. That's all I'll say. There was an ordeal. I guess I could say a little bit. So we were lucky enough to get a screener for this film, so we appreciate our friends over at Screambox and our buddy at Simply Legendary Publicity. I don't want to name names in case he doesn't want to be named, but we appreciate. He's a really good dude. But anyways, I had a really crazy week, and I normally try to watch the movie Monday, Tuesday night, something like that. I didn't have a chance to do that, especially because we had the screener, so I was going to watch it on my computer. And so I went to watch it a couple hours before we do the show, and our screener has no more views left. So I was like, all right, fuck, what am I gonna do? Let me just try to reach out, and thankfully, our friends over at Simply Legendary literally replied within minutes and got us additional view. But I had actually already gone and attempted to rent it. I did rent it actually, and I ended up. I did end up watching the rental because I'd already started it while I was waiting to hear back. So I don't know, the whole ordeal. So it took me about 20, 30 minutes to actually figure out what the fuck was going on, and all that. So yeah, so we are late tonight because I was watching the movie and had to get it in. So I got it in. Thankfully, I was able to get the show, kind of ready leading up to it, so we wouldn't be even later. But yeah, so we had 6 views, and between 2 people, they consumed all 6 of them.
And let me just add on to this a little addendum, if you don't mind. I watched it without a problem.
MZ, so you're saying you consumed 1 view?
That's correct.
All right. Okay. Well, Raven Shadow, as you said, people are smart. They can do the math.
Well, first of all, math is hard. I think we can all agree on that. And second of all, I there's a lot of things I can't say right now, but it's a lot of fucking things are weird though. You know what I mean?
God.
That we didn't expect. And we can't negate those surprises.
The things that you can't say have nothing to do with this.
But I think we were all surprised. Because it wasn't, there's a lot of,
No. All right. Enough.
shit
Enough.
happened in the forum. You know what I mean? There's a lot of this wasn't a linear adventure, like they say in the role-playing world.
They don't say that in the role-playing world.
Because it's not easy to say.
It's not clingy, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, it sucks.
So there you go. We're so folks watching late or watching live, I should say, that's why we're late. But for folks watching after the fact or listening to the podcast, they don't give a fuck, so I don't want to harp on it. So Creepy Girl is hanging out, and she says, I smuggled liquor into Canada. I was scared shitless. Me and some girl were going over to hang with a rock band from there. Can't remember the name of them, but we made it. It was fun, but expensive.
Nice.
And then she says, I'm driving to Florida listening to you in the car, and my daughter Sam is listening too.
Oh,
Well, first off, Sam, we are sorry that you have to listen to us. But also, that's pretty awesome, Creepy Girl, that you're, listening to us. We're keeping you company in the car, and also to her daughter Sam. Hello.
Creepy Girl's the best.
So
ain't that right, though?
What?
I said, ain't that right?
Ain't that right? What do you sound like a Double J? Ain't I great?
Oh, I'm agreeing with Raven Shadow.
All right, so we're going to be talking about the Outwaters in just a bit. And what else do we have going on? Is there anything exciting going on? And did you guys you shoveled Raven Shadow, right?
Yeah, we had like a winter event.
A winter event.
Yeah,
is that what they're calling them now?
I think I'm trying to trademark that. I'm trying
It's
to
a fucking snowstorm.
Yeah, mostly ice. And for nothing. We got lucky this winter, thus far, but it was lots of ice. So I had to it wasn't super snow, but it was definitely slippery. So I had to I was hacking and slashing, with my shovel.
Oh, like in a role playing game.
Just like a role playing.
This show is like a fucking role playing game. I wish I could fucking roll a 20 so I could kill the boss and leave.
Yeah, you're the boss. You roll for initiative. But we might get hit because March is still a motherfucker. You know what I mean? Like in New England. We might get hit next week, and I might have to cancel an appointment I have next Wednesday evening.
What kind of an appointment? That sounds ominous.
It's a massage.
A massage?
Massage. Yeah, no, Marion got me for my birthday a massage. Thing.
Do you know what a massage is?
I think so. I've
what
seen
do you
some
think
movies.
It is?
Well, I like to, ease the tension. You know what I mean? Because I'm stressed.
Yeah, you are.
I can only imagine the masseuse that's going to be rubbing her hands all over that body.
Yeah, I don't know.
God, it'd be like massaging a piece of spaghetti.
El dente.
Yeah, Sue Dibney.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, Mr. Raven Shadow, you're so thin. Your arms are like twigs.
Listen. You know
They're
what I
gonna
mean?
call him Mr. Raven Shadow.
They might. I'm not sure.
While they're giving you a fucking massage.
Yeah, I'm wearing my sunglasses. I'll tell you that much.
Mr. Raven Shadow, your leg feels like a wet noodle.
Yeah. God, it's not my leg.
My God, Mr. Raven Shadow, have you ever thought about shaving your back?
Mr. Raven Shadow. Oh shit!
That's exciting. But yeah, we might get. So yeah, I might have to reschedule.
I'll be a shame, huh?
Yeah, no, it's weird.
Where are you going? Like massage envy?
I don't know where it's near. It's near my my gimmick job. It's near the. I'm not sure where it is. But,
oh, it's like right across the road.
Yeah.
I think I know what you mean.
I used to get a massage. I used to get a massage at this place.
Just a single. I used to get a massage.
Yeah. Well, no. I used to
massage, pleplease.
No, I went there like maybe like once a month for a short amount of time. At a place, it's not there anymore.
Yeah, they closed after you went there. You're muted, by the way, MZ. You just all of a sudden stopped.
Oh, sorry. The place was called New Beginnings. And let me tell you, there are no happy endings at New Beginnings.
Jesus Christ. Were you fucking Bob Kraft?
That's the thing, you can't even do that. Like, even if like somebody was like single and that was the thing, like that's how they got Bob Kraft, bro. There's cameras everywhere. You can't be doing.
I mean, that's such a like. I don't understand why that's even a thing. Like I sure it happens, but like, I mean the percentage of places that do that are probably like 0.0003%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to be fair, I do know
massages are totally legit, and like, yeah, it's ridiculous.
I do know a guy got a little something he'll keep forever as a result of going to one of those places.
No, let me tell you.
Something he'll keep forever.
I would go there. I would be balls ass naked underneath a towel, and and they would be rubbing you, and they're rubbing you up to your upper thigh, your lower back, and you think.
Oh, you're making this sound so sexy, MZ, the way you describe it.
Well, that's just it. Well, see, that's the point. Is that it seems like something that's going to be sexy, because when I first started going there,
it's not sexy. It's a massage.
Just hear me out.
Jesus.
I get turned on easily. Okay.
Okay.
I mean, there's
wait.
the whole point.
Someone just opened the door and a breeze just fucking came in the room.
I mean, there was a reason why I jerked off 4 times a day.
Jesus
okay.
Christ.
But nothing like that. It's nothing like that. I thought it was
like that.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be pitching a tent. I never did. It's kind of amazing how they're able to.
They're able to not turn me on.
You just shut up for a second. Does everything have to be a goddamn joke? How they're able to massage your muscles.
No,
in areas where you don't have people grabbing at you most of the time, unless it's yourself, and not get turned on. It's really kind of an amazing situation.
That's a skill you acquire in massage school. How not to turn MZ on.
Or anybody else on, for that matter.
Just don't breathe on him.
but you know what? The girl that was doing my massages, she had to bail out on me. I think she was getting freaked out by my tattoos on my back.
I would. Jesus Christ! If I saw that thing, I'd be fucking out of there.
Dude, I have seen those things.
She'd end up as a fucking dead skin mask after the fucking massage. Jesus.
Silence of the Lambs.
Well, now I'm gonna have a brownie.
Jesus Christ. I can't even believe how like he just transitions to like, you know, like everything turns me on. I usually jerk off 4 times a day to now I'm gonna eat a brownie. He's getting turned on as we speak.
Yeah. Well,
do eating brownies turn you on?
Let's not combine the two, okay? That would be really
Actually,
bad.
MZ, please chew your food well. We don't need you choking and dying on air. So, Raven Shadow, about this massage now.
Oh man, I haven't smelled this much burnt toast since the Zombie Girl crossover. I am fucking.
Well, actually, MZ, you did say past tense. You used to do 4 times a day. Is it less now? Not that I really want to know.
Dude,
I don't even know why I'm asking this.
Dude, I'm 51 years old.
What are you turned to dust?
I'm down to like 4 times a week now.
4 times a week. Fucking shooting dust now, cobwebs.
Drip, 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 drip.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Before I used to knock down a fly at 20 paces. Now I can't. Now it's like squeezing the ketchup out of a ketchup bottle.
Oh, might be a mayonnaise bottle, wouldn't it? unless you cum blood.
But like I said, I'm 51 years old.
So he does, apparently.
Right now it's a toss-up.
And to be fair, if that was a thing, I'd be totally honest with my doctor. I'm like, listen, you got to fucking fix it.
I don't even know what's happening. I don't know.
Why is it red?
I don't know.
And I used to be a pretty good lovemaker too.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
What the fuck? I used to.
Well, I am the gangster of love, although at my age now it's more of a hold up than a stick up. You know what I mean?
Christ.
Gangster? Wait, did he just legitimately say gangster of love?
Oh yeah, Monster Zero taking the baton, motherfucker! Yeah.
More of a wait. What was that line? More of a stick up? What like?
I'm the gangster of love, although at my age it's more of a hold up than a stick up.
Oh, okay.
Wolfie, there is so much.
Do you get it now?
There's so much to unpack, and we get it. No, we get it.
Good.
Burnt toast.
Oh my god.
So now Creepy Girl and her daughter are hearing this live. MZ, way to go. Evil Corny popped in and says, "Hey guys," and he says that massage therapists earn that money the hard way. MZ.
They sure do.
And he said, "Cum Shot would be MZ's superhero name." No, no, it would actually be Bloodshot. Gives new meaning to the name. God damn. Well, hey, we're off to a good start, I suppose, or a bad start, whichever way you want to look at it.
Yeah, what do you say we start talking about the film?
My chest hurts so much.
I just can't get over. I used to be a really good love maker.
There's so much to unpack. Like when?
I know. Like, yeah, how
what was
long
that
ago? Like, when did it stop? Like, who said this? Are you self-proclaimed gangster of love? Like,
I am self-proclaimed.
did you win any awards for it? Like,
Yes, I did.
But local?
local awards? Yeah.
Local on the
State,
local
federal?
and national level.
The gangster love of Grafton doesn't really have a good ring to it.
I feel like it's almost like a field day. Remember track and field, you get the ribbons.
Yeah. It's funny. I was just talking about field day the other day, and I found a picture of me at field day.
I bet you were great. Field day was the best.
All I remember about field day was that field day in, let's see, was it 7th or 8th grade? I don't remember. It was 1989 or maybe 90. So 89, yeah, because I would have been in high school in 90. So it was 89, and it was the first time that I'd listened to the cassette of Faith No More's "The Real Thing."
Yeah, bro.
Somebody brought that to field day. I don't remember who. I think I do, but I don't. You know, I'm not going to name names. I think I remember, but
Do we all know this person?
no. But yeah, so that was the first time I heard that album. I'd heard Epic prior to that, and you know, at first I was like, "What the fuck is this?" And then, like, after a couple listens, I loved it. And then, but that was the first time I heard that album. But that's funny. Yeah, I was just talking about field day.
Now,
MC's gonna have a field day next time he goes for a fucking massage.
oh my lord.
That was a long time ago. I don't do that anymore.
Yeah, just like you don't make love, you don't masturbate multiple times in a day. Man, getting old has really slowed you down.
Yeah, it's kind of hampered my ability to do the things that I used to do when I was 30.
You know what though? It's just a state of mind. It's because you're not as interested. You gotta work your mind. At 51, you should be doing 4 times a day still.
Yeah, right.
Don't stagnate, man.
Yeah, right. Keep swimming. You're a shark.
Yeah, you are a shark. Or
Just
an
be
orca.
Yeah, be Jabberjaw.
Evil Corny says, Bonimus Prime, roll out.
Scrotumus Prime.
Scrotumus Prime. There you go. Well, that took a turn. So Raven Chat, we went from winter events to finding out that MZ has really sort of slowed down his masturbatory habits drastically.
So in the middle, his great lover tactics, his multiple massages.
Yeah, massages.
There's a lot. There's so much to unpack.
I really should write an autobiography.
What's it going to be called?
I'd fuck me.
I'd fuck me. I'd massage me.
Then in parentheses, I fuck me so hard.
Yeah. And it's you doing the fucking tuck dance on the cover. You finally released the tuck dance video.
Oh, God. The infamous tuck dance video.
It's like the fucking Snyder Cut. Release the tuck dance.
I might allow you to release that. I don't know.
Boy.
I've been giving it some thought.
If so, that's like $100 tier on fucking Patreon because I had to edit that and shoot it. I deserve what do they call it? Restitution. Thank you.
Guys, I have the gimmick. Whenever we do a live event, get the band back together one more time, at least, to show like a series of shorts. There will be a screening.
No, because then people can fucking because then people can record it with their camera phones.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I can't have that.
No, we gotta put your phones in a box before you come in.
Oh, sure.
People are gonna fucking do that. Yeah, no one's gonna come to our show.
The Aries will be there.
Or have
he's not even here. You think
or have multiple phones.
What, you have a fucking a burner
thing?
like All right. Well, I think there's money to be made, but fine. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, but not that way.
Yeah, there's more money to be made making $100 tier on Patreon and putting it in there.
Oh, I think it'd be. I want to see on the big screen.
On the
What?
big, you want to see that on the big screen?
But
You,
like
seen-
on IMAX and 3D.
yeah.
I just think Wolfie has a really good eye.
In MZ, you apparently think he's got a really good brown eye. Where do you think he stashed those fucking things?
Oh, I'm fast. That's crazy. I would love a rear. I don't want to know. Sorry. Let me take that.
No, yeah. You don't want a rear view.
I'm sorry.
No, believe me, it
No alternate
it
angles.
was not. It was not easy doing that. I'll tell you.
No,
I mean, I mean, having the gumption to do it was easy.
I'm
But
thinking
the
just the
physical.
fit-
I mean, I'm talking about the physical act of having them shoved under. It started to hurt after a while because it's like, it's like, it's
There's
not
so much.
comfortable.
No, they're so big. They are so large.
They are.
It's like
They
two hippity hops between your fucking legs.
Two hippity
Pretty
hops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It looks like a hippity hop from the back, probably.
Oh
Yeah.
shit! Oh shit! Corny is a mole. He said, "I'm talking to Wiley right now and told her that MZ wanted to release the tuck dance."
Fuck.
Or
You bastard.
you would need to have Stephanie Wiley's permission because she paid for the making of that with her own money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
That's
is
true.
true. We'd have to have a campaign. We have to start a like I said, release the tuck dance, just like the release the Snyder Cut.
She was our benefactor.
Yep.
Wowzers. This is Corny's for instance, Corny going into business for himself. But was there any ever video evidence of a reaction to the tuck dance?
No, not video. No.
Oh.
I think she gave us her reaction like on the air, but
What was her reaction now that I think? I don't even remember her reaction.
I don't either. It's probably horror.
Yeah, I would
Yeah.
not fun.
I think she was happy with what happened. That that it got made and we did a somewhat capable job of it.
Yeah, we actually did it. I mean,
Well, I even did fucking green screen so I could put the fucking backdrop behind you, the same backdrop. Corny says he's talking to Wiley and she said she still has it. It's like our fucking Patreon thing. Like it's locked in a vault. Like you have to send a team to extract it.
am I honored? I think I'm honored. Yeah, I think I'm honored.
Oh, and I can guarantee there's been there's been negative massages happening when that thing's fucking played. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I'm sure when she shows it to her friends, she passes out a barf bag to everyone.
Nah, she keep it real. She follow the deal.
It's soap to fucking clean their eyes out.
Yeah. Joe Goro saw it, but yeah, that's fine.
Oh God, that's horrifying. I feel bad if he has. So, anyways,
Wow, this took a turn. This is
Yeah.
what happens when he isn't here. See what happens.
there was some other stuff I was going to bring up. I forget. Oh, there is a movie that I usually don't talk about movies that we're going to do ahead of time, but like I know, I think Raven Shadow watched the trailer. I don't know if MZ did. Did you guys watch the trailer for Smoking Causes Coughing?
I saw the trailer. Yeah.
Holy fuck! Right? We got to do it, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
If you think we have to.
Yeah. It's the new film from Quentin Dupieux. And he is the director of Rubber, Deerskin. Do you remember Deerskin, Raven Shadow? The fucking jacket?
oh yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's that director. I don't know if you ever saw Rubber. I know MZ did.
Yeah, I've seen Rubber. I didn't care much for Deerskin, if I remember correctly, but I do remember seeing Rubber, and I remember liking Rubber.
Yeah, I mean, Rubber's fucking bizarre as fuck, and I haven't seen it in years. I probably would have an even greater appreciation of it now. But Deerskin, oh shit, I just moved the fucking thing by accident. Let's see. What Deerskin I did like though. I thought that was fun. But this one looks fucking bonkers. And literally, if there was a movie made from Raven Shadow's fucking brain, this is it. Like it's called Smoking Causes Coughing. What was the name of the team? There's something like the cigarette team or the smoking team or like some sort of smoking reference.
Like the smoking seven or something like that. Yeah. They're like a Power Rangers type.
Right. Well, I wouldn't even say Power Rangers. I'd say like even like what is
G-Force Battle of the Planets.
Yeah.
The stuff that I love, we grew up with like Star Blazers, G-Force, Robotech, but they're like a team. They fight kaiju. They have like a weird rat mentor.
Didn't it look like the fucking rat from
Izzo from Sesame Street?
Well, I was going to say from Meet the Feebles, yeah.
Feebles, yeah, Feebles, yeah.
Yeah, but it looks bonkers, and they're called the Tobacco Force.
That's what it was, the Tobacco Force. Yeah.
And the synopsis: a group of vigilantes called the Tobacco Force is falling apart. To rebuild team spirit, their leader suggests that they meet for a week-long retreat before returning to save the world. So think of a superhero sort of kaiju anime super team style movie directed by the director of Rubber.
Yeah.
And it's about smoking apparently or something.
Potentially a little bit of Astron 6 or
I wouldn't even say Astron 6. I mean Quentin Dupieux has his own style. Very out there, very surrealistic at times. But yeah, it looks fucking hilarious. I can't wait. So we normally don't talk about movies too far in advance, but like that one's coming out I think end of March, so it's not that far actually. And let's see. Creepy Girl says, I love Rubber. Yeah, it's a fun movie. You haven't seen it, Raven Shadow?
I don't think so.
Okay, well, it's about a serial killing tire.
Oh, tire?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty bonkers. It's pretty out there.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, I'll check it out.
It's fun though. It's very interesting. I like how like I said, it's been years since I've seen it, but I like how the crowd that's like watching it like comments on like what's going on. It's a really fucking bizarre movie. But Smoking Causes Coughing, like we just have to do it. Like a movie that like has a theme about smoking and there's a fucking super team named the Tobacco Force.
Bro.
I swear, like I feel like I'm in a fucking fever dream. Like you created this fucking thing.
Seriously?
Okay, guys. All right. Rubber is playing for free on YouTube.
Oh. On YouTube?
On YouTube. Free with ads. So if you have an inkling to watch Rubber, it is available on YouTube for free.
All right. Well, there you go, Raven Shadow.
That's cheap.
No excuse.
He is not going to watch. I'll tell you that much. He's going to see that. He's going to see that fucking tire. He's going to be like, "What the fuck?"
Unless the tire has a cigarette sticking out of one of its treads, he ain't going to watch it.
Actually, it looks like it's playing on multiple services for free. It's on YouTube, as MZ said. It's on Pluto TV. It's on Crackle. It's on Vudu. It's on Plex. And those are the free ones. So it's playing in quite a few places for free. By the way, Plex, I don't know people know, I don't really talk about Plex. I use Plex, and I have like my digital movie collection up on Plex, and I create my own media server. So these guys have access to it. So for any digital films that I own, you can have friends access your collection. You set up a server, streams it. But in the last couple of years, Plex has actually added the ability to watch films on their service. So they stream films in addition to your own media server. So I'm a big fan of Plex, and they've been doing a really great job, like with app updates and adding that stuff in. You can get TV series as well. So if you guys aren't checking it out and you're looking for some more free movies and TV, give Plex a look. Evil Cordy just watched the Smoking Causes Coughing trailer, and he says, "Whoa, this trailer's insane." Yeah, it's bonkers. I cannot wait to check that movie out. So we'll be doing that. And actually, Professor J, I don't have his comment right here, but he gave it a ringing endorsement. He saw it either a screen or at a festival, because he goes to a lot of festivals and stuff. So he's already seen it. So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
Can't wait for that one.
Get him on the show.
I've been trying. He's a busy dude.
I want to give that dude a hug and a kiss.
Who doesn't? I did actually. We haven't had a guest in a while, and I did reach out to a guest tonight. I'll probably reach out to a few other folks because MZ's back. I wanted to sort of like allow things to breathe a little bit, but with Aries being a game time decision here and there, especially. You guys got snow, so I imagine he's plowing tonight, right?
Yeah, and then he might go in the truck too, if you know what I mean.
He might what?
Sorry. I was doing a different joke. I was trying to jump in on like the Monza Zero perversion. And then
I see. Jumping back to that, huh?
Well done. Well done.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty obvious. I think Coney got it, but that's fine.
One other thing I'm looking forward to. I'm not going to talk much about it because I already talked about it for 2.5 hours last night, and MZ probably doesn't give a fuck. But the Mandalorian season 3 starts on Wednesday. MZ, have you seen any of the live action Star Wars shows?
No.
Why?
What am I going to watch that crap for?
Do you like the Star Wars movies?
The original trilogy,
right?
I like.
Yeah, the original trilogy.
Everything after that could take a flying leap. No interest.
All right. Well, I'm not trying to convince you. I mean, you do your own thing. But Mandalorian season 3 starts on Wednesday, and I'm excited. And if you guys, we won't talk about it very much on this show. Maybe just a passing comment here or there. But if you guys do want to hear me talk about it, or just listen to a podcast that dissects and reviews and discusses in great detail every episode as it drops, you can check out The Force Insensitive, a Star Wars podcast. That is my other podcast. So give that a listen if you're curious. All right. I think we can start to wrap this up because I am curious and interested in jumping into this film discussion. I will mention before we jump into the Patreon stuff. Well, this is related to Patreon, but we did drop the new Patreon episode, and we already have some comments. Let's see. We'll pull these up here. So we released it. It's called just called the episode Celluloid Heroes. And I think we talked about it a little bit last week, so I'm not going to go into great detail. But what we did was we each drafted a team of 5 celluloid heroes. Basically, the cutoff was it could only be heroes or just characters, not really heroes, but characters who appeared on celluloid. They had to have been prior to the digital age. With the caveat that if it was shot, after the year 2000, and it was shot on 35 millimeter or 70 millimeter or 8 millimeter, even 16 millimeter, whatever, any kind of film stock, then they could be included. And what we did it sort of like a fantasy sports draft. We did rounds, and we each picked our teams, and so we ended up with a team of 5, and then we dropped a scenario. There's a heist scenario. So we talked about role-playing games earlier, and think about it as like a role-playing game. There's a scenario, and our team had to go and try to achieve victory in this scenario. And the first result is in, and EF has commented, and he says, "My vote goes to Johnny's team as far as general competence and actually accomplishing the task like a bunch of professionals. But MZ and Raven Shadow's teams would make for a far more entertaining highlight/lowlight reel," which I do agree with. In hindsight, I probably should have added some more dysfunction to my team to make it more interesting. But he said, and I commented on it, and he said, "Nah, you made the right choice and save cinema." And then I didn't see his last comment. Let me see. He has another comment. He says, so I said I love that James Cameron ended up being both the hero and the villain in our scenario." And he says that was a pretty hilarious scenario. Old Cameron probably in his New Zealand bunker, horrified at what he had done. Then I imagine younger, full of himself Cameron, trying to make everything digital. And I say this as someone who loves the Avatar movies. Also, to confirm, Tarantino is vehemently anti-digital. He only shoots on film and won't even screen digital movies at his New Beverly Cinema, only film prints. He only shot his Sin City segment in digital because it was a digital production, and Robert Rodriguez is his best bud. So, yeah, because I think we did talk about that, right? We talked about whether I knew Quentin he's one of the people who is like staunchly defending film. He and Christopher Nolan is another one of the big defenders of celluloid, and there's a few others out there. I don't recall who else, but there was a big push to try to get more people using actual film cameras and stuff like that. So yeah, but I appreciate the insight, because I know that EF actually attends the New Beverly Cinema from time to time, and so he would certainly know. That must be cool, though. I imagine being within close proximity to that cinema is probably a pretty cool time to be able to kind of go there here and there.
Oh, yeah.
So if you guys want to hear that episode, it was, I mean, what do I know? But in my opinion, I thought it was kind of fun, and it seems like EF might have had some fun with it. So if you guys get a chance, you can head on over to Patreon if you're a Patreon supporter and give it a listen. We have both the audio version and also the video version for those in the higher tiers. And you guys can join for as little as $2 a month if you're not already a supporter. And that $2, it gets you into the lowest tier, but you get access to every single Patreon exclusive episode. And we try to do different things like that, try to mix it up and do some different stuff. We don't do film discussions. We typically do kind of lists or interesting other topics or discussions like that. So in the past, we have done some film commentaries, which I love doing those, and I hope we can do them again sometime, but it's very difficult doing them not in person. And now it's even harder because I'm down here in Maryland. MZ's down up there in Maine. Raven Chow's in the fucking middle. Michael in the middle.
Damn, Michael in the middle. Just come sleep over.
I get the guest bedroom. MZ can get the downstairs.
Yeah. No, you have the there's a Wolfie and Tron room that you guys both get.
Oh, that's so we're you trust us enough to use that room, but you don't trust other people.
Well, I'm just saying you guys get the special room.
All right. So yeah, if you guys want to check out the Patreon, patreon.trickortreatradio.com, head on over there, and it'll bring you right to our Patreon page. And from there, you can go ahead and listen, or if you're not already a supporter, you can join. Like I said, as little as $2 a month, we got some cool stuff over there. So give it a look. All right, the other ways you can help support the show is on trickortreatradio.com. If you scroll down and you look for the Amazon logo, you find it, you click it, it's going to bring you to Amazon. It's going to input our affiliate link. It's going to, I just completely lost track. It's going to input our affiliate link. Everything you purchase in that session will get attributed to us. It's funny, like this is all like, I'm not like, doing a Raven Channel, pat myself on the back, but like all this, I just fucking do it. I can do like 3 other things while I'm doing it now, because I was just so used to saying it. But sometimes I look at something, and then those words enter my head, and then I just get all like fucking gummed up. So, but anyways, if you use that link, it gives us a tiny little cut. It doesn't cost them any extra, Raven Channel.
This part is easy for me because I know the answer. There's another way to help keep the lights on.
There you go. I also haven't eaten dinner, so I'm like fucking starving.
See, I knew it. Wolfie's a little bit hangry.
I haven't yelled at you, or at least not since the show started. I am a little hangry though. Yeah. I'm gonna go get a Snickers bar. No, I don't have a Snickers bar. Okay, I am gonna get a snack during the break though. Let's see. Oh yeah, and finally, if you guys want to support, the final way you can do so is on trickortreatradio.com. Click on store, go there. You're gonna find the greatest hits of Trick or Treat Radio volumes 1 through 3. You haven't been a fan the whole time. That's fine. We've been doing the show 10+ years. We don't expect everybody to have been there since the beginning. But if you guys do want a little bit of a sample of some of the previous episodes, especially the first 6 to 7-ish years, we have the greatest hits, volumes 1 through 3. You can check them out. And, you can hear some of the highlights, lowlights, midlights, everything in between, the songs, the arguments, the interviews. Got a little bit of everything on there. So if you guys want to give that a look, give it a listen, check it out, and help support, we'd appreciate it. All right, Michael Raven Shadow, you sit down to watch the Outwaters, to consume 5 viewings in one sit down. How did I got to know? How did you prepare for this? How could you possibly prepare? Are you trying to like make up for lost time? Like you're watching 5 movies in one?
I feel kind of like Galactus, Johnny. I'm just going to consume all the media. You know what I mean? And prior to that, I entered a raffle. What do you think of that?
Wow. I'm curious what it's about.
Yeah, my gimmick job. They certain sponsors for certain events, and there was some shows coming out. You want to go to this show or that show? Put your name in, for the raffle. And one of the shows.
You fucking motorboating over there? What's going on? You thinking about massages?
I know. He had gone to Mari, One of the shows was the Jurassic Park live experience, which, having seen the movie Jurassic Park Live, does not make me want to go to it because I don't want to get eaten by a fucking, T-Rex. But I'm assuming they're more like Muppets, right? Like Muppets on stage. It's a play. I don't want to do that. But the other show was Elvis Costello at the Hanover Theater.
Oh, nice. Did you win?
Yes. Yeah, I won.
Nice.
So, next March 4th, I'm going to see Elvis Costello with Marion. That's fun.
That's nice.
Free drink. Yeah. Should be cool.
Free drinkies.
Free drinky winkies. You know what I'm saying? Pocky walkies. No shuttle bus up in here, bro. Sorry. The Monster Zero fucking stuff is still fucking me up. So you better believe. Watch just one of the guys because she looks like Ralph Macchio and dresses like Elvis Costello. And you're going to leave ice strapped on.
You go through your week with the same old routine.
What you really want is some blood and thunder in your life.
Well, friend, you found it.
The Cromcast is an adventurous journey through the history of two-fisted pulp stories.
With your hosts, John,
Josh,
and Luke.
we have action,
horror,
and adventure, all through the lens of pulp luminary Robert E. Howard.
Don't just stay in your ordinary life.
Find your pulp life at thecromcast.blogspot.com.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
The Cromcast.
A podcast for the barbarian at heart.
I'm Mike Allred. For the gidgiest listening experience, you got to check out Trick or Treat Radio.
The following message is a paid advertisement for the Cult of Muscle podcast. The Cult of Muscle. You're either in it or you're dead.
It's the dawning of a new age. The halls of Valhalla have been shuttered. The heroes of yore have either retreated to the shadows or taken to capering for the amusement of the small folk. Their past glories a distant memory. The barbells have been torn from their once puma-strong grips. The beards shorn from their square jaws, only to be transplanted onto flannel-clad, puny weaklings with fingers barely powerful enough to strum a ukulele. The time has come, my brothers, to restore order from the chaos. No longer will our heroes be forgotten. No longer will their great deeds be viewed through a foggy lens of irony. Hear now our rallying cry as we scream it from the mountaintops, as we bellow it from iTunes and Libsyn and Facebook. It's time to join the cult, my brothers. So don your cloaks and enter the Cult of Muscle.
I could be standing outside a woman's prison in a fistful of 50s and a bouquet of dildos, and no woman would come near me.
Did you say a bouquet of dildos?
And we are back on Trick or Treat Radio.
Oh, boy.
A little bit of dead air for the live listeners.
Yep.
I had to go to the bathroom really bad and get something to eat because I'm fucking starving. So there you go. Of course, Raven Shadow's not back. Of course. All right, so we are going to be talking. Oh, once again, the fucking.
Yeah, where are you, man?
Why isn't this working? Hold on.
Will Raven Shadow make it back before we come back on the on visual?
Oh, that's why. What the fuck? This is weird. I don't know. Something.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'll just do it manually. Something is going on with my Stream Deck. It's not responding.
So. There we are. There we are. There we are.
Oh, and he's not there. He was, and then he's
Raven
not.
Shadow took off again.
He literally.
Where the fuck is he going?
He literally sat down and then got immediately up.
What has he got? Hemorrhoids or something? Raven Shadow, sit the fuck back down. Where is he?
He's getting a massage.
He was literally just there.
He raised his arms.
Grab my water. I went to go grab my water, and next thing you know, he's gone. And there he is.
And there is. He wanted to make a big intro. He's like, "Oh shit!
Oh god!
Oh shit! The camera wasn't on, so I need to come back in and make a big intro."
It's all about him. That's what it is. It's all about Raven.
Is that right, Raven Shadow? It's all about you?
No, I mean I can't control what people think.
What do they think?
No, you can't.
Yeah, what do they think?
No, it's exciting. We're back. We're live. Good job, Wolfie.
Don't fucking condescend me.
I'm trying to put you over, man.
Yeah, put me over a fucking rock. Jesus.
No, we're back.
What?
Right? We're back from the break.
We are. Yeah, we are back from the break. Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Creepy girls driving to Florida. Careful. You know what I mean?
Unbelievable.
That's fun.
Fucking guy.
This fucking guy.
Yeah, safe travels. Safe travels.
All right. So we are going to talk about the Outwaters. Let me go ahead and pull up the info here.
Does it star Scott Hall and Kevin Nash?
It's The Outsiders.
That's The Outsiders. Never mind.
Or C. Thomas Howell.
Oh yeah, there's another one. Good.
Remember The Outsiders, the TV series? That didn't last long.
No, but apparently you do.
I do.
Tell us about it. Tell us about it.
No, don't. Just let's continue with the movie. We're so far behind it isn't even funny. Come on.
All right, so we're going to talk about The Outwaters. This film, it's funny. It says it's an hour and 40 minutes on IMDb. That's what threw me off for the time. I actually, because I mentioned to you guys, I thought that the version on Screenbox was a shorter time than the screener we got, because I just got thrown off by that. But it's actually an hour and 50 minutes. So IMDb needs to update their shit. And this film saw some festivals in 2022 and got an official release in 2023. It played in some select theaters and is now available, as I mentioned, on Screenbox. So if you guys want to give it a look, you can get Screenbox for, I think it's $4.99 a month. I think if maybe you do one of those annual payments, you can get it for cheaper. Or they also have a trial. I don't know if it's available through all services, but I was able to get it through Amazon. So Amazon, if you go to Amazon Prime Video, you can do a 7-day trial through that. So, but yeah, there you go, The Outwaters. But check out Screenbox. They get a lot of really good stuff on there. And the film is written and directed by Robbie Banfitch. The name actually sounded familiar to me, and I looked up Robbie and I didn't notice anything else that he has worked on. It's he did let's see, a bunch of shorts, and I think he had one other film that it's 59 minutes, so once again, it's that whole, like, is it a feature? Is it not a feature kind of thing? And that was actually in 2007. It's funny. I thought Robbie Banfitch was actually kind of younger, but maybe he made it when he was younger. But so okay. Yeah, but this is his first official feature film, and I'd say this is one of those, like, first time feature filmmaker films that we may talk about down the road. As whether we liked it or not, it's a film that definitely is going to have people talking, I think. So I will be curious to see what Robbie Banfitch does in the future. But the film stars Robbie Banfitch as Robbie, Angela Basolis as Ange, Scott Schimmel as Scott, funny enough, Michelle May as Michelle, if you can believe that, yeah. And also has Leslie Ann Banfitch, I assume is Robbie's mother. And the synopsis, I'll go with the IMDb one. I saw another synopsis that was a little bit more descriptive, but I feel like this is one that probably you want to go in. Is he getting up again?
Where is he going?
Are you fucking kidding me, this guy?
Just.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Jesus Christ.
Uh.
So where was I? The synopsis. I'll read you the short one just in case you haven't seen this movie and you want to go in cold and not know anything. So 4 travelers encounter menacing phenomena while camping in a remote stretch of the Mojave Desert. All right, the Outwaters. So let's dive in. And I actually, MZ, I know you are our resident found footage fanatic, I guess we could say. You're a big fan of the subgenre known as the found footage films, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what in your mind, what makes a good found footage film?
Well, you got to have likable characters. You got to have enough time to know these characters, what they're all about. But having them likable is first and foremost, as far as I'm concerned. You gotta be able to sympathize with what's happening to these people.
So not dash cam.
Definitely not dash cam. Oh, that was just dreck. And you also got to have a compelling story to go along with it, whether it's based on some folklore or something supernatural, or something on that idea, something that has a good core story, a good core, just a good story that is fairly easy to follow, and with a couple of twists and turns here and there, but nothing too difficult. Nothing too
not too heady.
Not too heavy, yeah. And
heady, but heavy also works.
Heady, heavy, Chevy.
He ain't heady. He's my brother.
And also, of course, the camera work has to jive. You gotta be able to follow along with what the camera's doing. And a lot of people complain about car sickness, but you know what? Fuck those people.
Yeah, fuck those people. All right. So I actually would agree. I may not be as much of a found footage fanatic, but I actually agree with a lot of what you just said. And for me, what makes an interesting found footage film is I want something to be surprising or shocking. A lot of found footage films, they basically wear their story on their sleeve. Like, exactly what's going to happen. Like, look at a film like The Blair Witch Project. I mean, that's the sort of, the standard, the bar, I think, for this generation of found footage. And that was a film, granted, it has witch in the title, but, so there wasn't a big twist with that, but I feel like the way, the length that it went to get to that, for lack of a better term, punchline, I think was really effective. And as you mentioned, MZ, it's got the camera work, it's got the likable characters, it's got all that, where it really brings you in, because a found footage film, I think almost more than any other film, unless it's like technically a first person film where the whole film is first person, I think more than almost any film, it really does put you into the movie. And you know, if you're not identifying with the character, at least on a you know, on some level, I feel like there creates this distance between the viewer and the film. And sometimes that can work. You know, we brought up Dashcam, and obviously the character in Dashcam was a fucking train wreck. She was not likable at all, but I still am of the mind that the film was made from the perspective of, you know, like a British citizen. I think it was. I think I could think it took place in London or near London, but the idea being, you know, the typical fucking American comes in and wreaks havoc and calls all this fucking bullshit in their country. Like, that's almost how I took it. So in that case, like, I can appreciate the way it was done, and maybe that's the subversion, you know, of like, well, you don't care for this character at all and you want them to die horribly. You're waiting. So it's almost an inversion so much that it creates a different kind of feel. Now, that movie didn't work for me as well. Because of that, I just hated that character so much. I had trouble. It kept a distance between me and the movie. But for other found footage films, you know, I think MZ's right on point with you want the characters to be likable, so you can actually see that they're making decisions that you might make, right? Like, oh yeah, this is a normal person. Like, they're, you know, why are they continuing to film, you know, through all this crazy shit? Go ahead, Joe.
Well, it's the thing. Like, I mean, I would agree for the most part, but I don't think you have to necessarily like the characters. I think with a found footage film, the biggest thing is that the audience has to buy into the conceit or the gimmick. Like, what, and I think you said it a little bit, why are they still filming? Is there a reason for that? And then if you buy into it, I think you have to trust the filmmaker that they're going to show you only the important things. Maybe not only the important things, they're going to show you other, once again, we've all played with video cameras back in the day, in the old VHS days. You know, we would just film ourselves, you know, being silly, slapping each other. But like you have to trust the director's going to give you maybe some red herrings, but they're only going to give you what you need to know. And how they frame the story in the limited, you know, gimmick or assignment of what they're showing you is part of the magic trick. And maybe I'm not being entirely specific.
No, I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, just to sort of piggyback on what you're saying, you know, if a found footage film was like legit, there would probably be no editing, right? It would just be like a fucking 8-hour boring, you know, fucking like a whole movie until the end when someone dies or whatever, you know, like. So yeah, it's a delicate balance where you have to show enough so that it feels realistic, you know, but you have to do just enough so that you maintain the viewer's attention. And then when the crazy shit goes down, which it normally does, then you need to make sure you've already grabbed them. And then if you have them, then they're going to be along for the ride. They're going to be engaged. They're going to really, you know, just kind of be along for that whole journey that you're bringing them on. And without that, I feel, you know, it's, if there's too much, like actually one found footage, I forget the name of it. It was the one that Double D brought for his Patreon takeover last year. I can find it real quick.
Was it the last broadcast?
Last broadcast.
No. Horror in the High Desert.
Oh yeah.
That was the one. For me, that was too much time sitting with the characters and not enough. Like, it got to the point where I was fucking bored and I did not care what happened at all. Like, and then when something sort of happened, I was like so tuned out I didn't care. You know, so I'm not trying to call out Double D with his choice. He likes that movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just didn't work for me. So, I think it is a delicate balance, and like it's tough, and there's a lot of that stuff has been done before. So you have to be very careful with what you do. To make sure that people are sort of like engaged with your film and bought into what you're doing.
And that's why something like, what was the movie, the big one we watched last year, with the YouTuber who
Deadstream.
Deadstream.
Oh, fucking awesome, right?
Up the gangsta of found footage of what you could potentially do, and when it works, it fucking works, and when it doesn't, for the most part, it doesn't. But that's still part of the excitement for me. Like I guess there's a part of me that still chases that found footage dragon, if you will, where like when it pops, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fucking into it, and I still get excited. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna watch everyone, but I do get interested when there is a new version. Like, how are you gonna pop me with
right,
the limited telling?
Yeah, what are you gonna do to really make this one stand out? Are you gonna do something that's gonna grab me? Is this gonna be something that's different from others? Yeah, like I totally hear you. Creepy Girl just said, Wolfie, your volume is lower than everyone else's. My volume is always the same. But I do know that it is a little bit softer than everyone else's. I try to make up for the fact that I have like, a better mic. No offense to you guys, we're not in studio anymore, and so I try to account for that. But if I did turn it up a little bit, Creepy Girl, if it's not better, let me know. It always comes out when I process the audio. I always normalize everyone's levels though. So on the podcast it's fine, but I guess live it might be a little lower. So back to what we were saying, I think that that's a good place to kind of stop with the discussion of found footage films, because I want to get into this one, but I think it is important to talk about our expectations and the things that we like and what works and what doesn't work for a found footage film. And like this one, we do get a good, like maybe 20 to 30 minutes of just kind of day in the life kind of thing, of like what these people are doing. They're going, like, this is sort of like the millennial generation, like the Coachella generation, I guess you could say. And, they're going out to the desert to make a music video for, capture some footage and make a video and take pictures and stuff like that for Michelle, who is a singer. And also, like, what was it? Angela had never been, like, she lives out there, but had never been to the desert, I think she said. So it's sort of like, we're going to go out to the Mojave Desert and we're going to camp out and we're going to get some footage and see what happens. And that's kind of the premise, but leading up to that, we get some stuff of, Robbie just kind of, doing his, like they have, I think if I'm not mistaken, there's like a couple earthquakes, we get some stuff like that. We see Michelle singing, performing in front of the camera. So we get a good sense of what these people are about. And, it does that thing where it sort of borders on, why do I give a fuck about these people, to, okay, I see what they're doing and I see what they're getting at. So when shit goes down, I understand what they're doing and who they are. And for me anyways, I feel like this walked that line pretty well. It didn't give us too much of this setting of the scene, but just enough to understand kind of where they're at and where they're going.
I got to disagree. I think they gave us way too much character development. And, I mean, it takes a while for anything to start in, for the story to kick into gear.
Yeah.
As far as character development goes, I mean, it took up about a good 40, 45 minutes, maybe even a couple minutes longer than that for character development. And it's like, we really don't need to know, you know, you want to know these characters. You want to know who they are, what they're about, you know, a little bit of their personality, maybe a little bit of their faults or their quirks that might play into the film later on. But man, 45 minutes on 4 people is an awful lot of time.
How many pauses was that, Raven Shadow?
I don't want to talk about it, Wolfie.
I turned my volume up even more. So, can you guys hear that I'm louder?
I can. No. You sound fine. You sound just the same as before.
All right. So maybe Creepy Girl, maybe she can comment. Let me know if the volume is a little bit more accurate.
But yeah, that's my take on the.
Okay, so just a little.
I think it's a little bit too long.
A little too much. How about you, Raven Shadow?
Yeah, I mean, once again, you gotta buy into the conceit. Like what, and I try to think of when we had cameras, you would film innocuous, stuff at times, or just, I don't know. I'm not saying I didn't hate the characters. I didn't love them, but I guess I pulled the hook. I took the bait. I was along for the ride. I liked the fact that the 2 female leads were very different body types, and I think they were both very attractive and hot, which is kind of the same word, for their different,
hot.
Hot. You
know
what I mean?
Hot.
Oh, hot. Yes.
Hot. What do you? You German all of a sudden? Hot.
No, I'm not German.
Come on, man. Jesus Christ.
I'm sorry.
Every time we mention Germany, you're like, oh, fucking.
I'm scared.
Not everyone is a fucking Nazi. Jesus Christ.
No, because in Heidemogen, the Watz is loose.
Germany actually is like one of the best.
We have more Nazis in this country than Germany does. Okay, so give it a rest.
And Germany is like actually one of the probably one of the countries that's like furthest along on civil rights. They're way better than we are right now.
I'm just not German. That's not that's not the gimmick I was doing. Big ups to them.
I know, but we know what you're doing.
No one knows what I'm doing. And be careful over there though, because if you do ask for caviar, that's butt stuff.
What? What the fuck?
Yeah. There's like caviar porn. It's like eating like poop over there in Germany, I hear.
Oh, Jesus.
You hear. I don't trust you for what fucking goes on in Germany.
That's what I heard. That's what Jericho said. He said, yeah, don't click on the caviar videos if you're in Germany.
How did we end up in Germany? We're supposed to be talking about the Mojave Desert.
I don't know. I'm saying that Johnny threw me under the bus.
Yeah, because you react in a certain way whenever you said hot. So I said that you sound like you're speaking German. And you're like, whoa. Don't.
No. And to be fair,
Wolfie, don't bring up Germany ever again.
You're right. I probably shouldn't.
Jeez, this is your fault.
Don't get a pass, but still, No, I love.
What about Russia?
They kind of.
Oh, come on! Now we're getting off the topic.
Kind of being dicks.
Stick to the movie, for crying out loud.
They kind of.
All right, back to the movie.
Now you want to talk about geographical locations.
Okay,
Fuck
so the actresses were hot.
I liked they were different. They were different, represented different, things.
Corny says, "Whoa, that's an expensive date." The caviar.
Yeah, caviar. Yeah. But no, I think caviar is like over there. It's a code.
It's code, huh?
Yeah. I'm gonna borrow MZ's phone.
All right, so back to the movie.
What?
So, all right, yeah, I actually don't remember. I mean, I think you're probably right, MZ. Maybe it was about 45-ish minutes. It's for me. Yeah, actually, I'm just kind of scrubbing through the video here. I think it was around the 40-minute mark is when they first started hearing those loud noises, and and that to me is when I feel, you're starting to get led into what's going on, right? This is also going to be very difficult to talk about because we have to tiptoe around like the last half hour or more, because this is a movie I feel people should go in cold, go in without knowing much, because otherwise I think it's just being brought along for the ride. There's something about not knowing what's going on. So let's kind of tiptoe as much as we can. But for me, I think that's when things started to really pick up, is when we started hearing those loud, like thunderous noises in the background when they're in their tents.
Yeah, and a tip of the hat to the sound design in this movie.
Yes.
It is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
I gotta agree. And I know a movie like this would never get Oscar consideration, but the sound in this does so much for this movie that it should be recognized.
Yeah, and if you're watching on your computer, put on headphones. If you're fortunate enough to see it in the theater, see it in the theater. But it's strictly for that sound design alone. It is mind blowing. I mean, those thunderous noises during the nighttime scenes. There's a certain chase scene that's going on, which there's like multiple voices and whispers going on underneath the soundtrack, and it just the way it's done, it's just remarkable. Very good work.
And there's even one voice. I think you only hear the voice once, and then when you hear it, it's like, what the fuck? Like that to me, I think also was really impactful.
I'm not an engineer and I'm no nurse, but goddamn, there's some good stuff.
So I think we all can agree on that. Yeah, there's some phenomenal sound design in this. Like a lot of, sorry, took a fucking bite of jalapeno puff because I'm fucking starving. I don't want to eat on air or into the mic. I mean, but I think like a lot of other found footage films, this definitely relies on filming it at night, and I think it's kind of twofold. I think it's sort of one of the things we talked about, I think it was last week, is that your mind can create, your mind typically creates something scarier than what someone else would show you. So I feel like having the darkness, usually is a good thing in a film like this. But you have to walk that line. You can't have it be too dark where you can't tell what's going on. Because then people I think get just kind of lost. They're just like, what am I supposed to be seeing? But with the sound design in this, it really goes a long way into giving you an understanding of what's going on, even though there are some scenes that are dark. But it's in the fucking desert in the middle of the night. Like, there is a flashlight or a light on the camera, and I feel like they did a good job. I feel like they did walk that line well in this movie in that regard. Because that has gone horribly wrong in other found footage films in the past that I've seen. And I think they did it fairly well. I probably would have preferred to see a little bit more, have a slightly larger field of vision, but I think with what they did, I think that this worked. It didn't make me feel like it was too dark.
Nah, I disagree. I disagree. I think we deserve to see a little bit more than what we got. It's almost claustrophobic in the way that what you're seeing in front of you is being shown to us, and I can understand in one regard how that could possibly work, but in this case, you have if you have a flashlight, and in this situation, and you got something chasing after you, or something is going on that's cosmic, that doesn't, that needs explanation or whatever, that something's hunting you down, you need to have that light expanded, because there is one small scene in which the light is expanded, and it just didn't make much sense just to have this one little pinhole of light just being your only light source. It really distracted me, because it's like, you got this unbelievable sound that's going on in this movie, and you don't have the visuals to back it up. Now, I'm not saying that you should be seeing everything. Granted, a lot of things should be hidden, and a lot of things should be, hidden in the dark and the shadows or whatever. But you got to give the viewer something. And I feel that the viewer got nothing, because we don't even know why. We don't even know what's happening with these people. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what the reason is. And again, yes, maybe that does call for a scarier story, but you got to give the viewers something. Here, I don't think the director gave the viewers anything to work with. Probably just to use their imagination, but I just felt like the director kind of had us thinking what the story was. We're making up the story as we're going along, but there's just nothing to be seen here. So that's my opinion on it.
Raven Chow, I guess we've both given our opinion. So do you have thoughts on that?
I mean, as things picked up, there was a certain harbinger that they would focus on, with the camera. When things amped up, I really got fucked up a little bit by some of the sounds that were the dialogue that was screamed, that was said, that was kind of an unusual bit of dialogue for a movie like this. And it was just very, very. I was watching this downstairs in the basement. I mean, it's a finished basement. You guys have been there. There's a bar on it.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, we know.
But like, still, it was just like, ooh, I don't know, it added to it. The lights were off, and that, I don't want to say what the dialogue was, but like, it just was like, I guess that's what you say when you're having the worst day of your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, oh.
Yeah,
good.
So just trying to think about my words before I say them so that I'm not giving anything away. But for me, the reveal-ish that happens, I think actually makes it more effective due to the darkness. Because if you could see a little more in some scenes, I feel like it would have taken away the reveal. So I get what you're saying, MZ, and maybe they could have been a little bit more picky and choosy with where they did it. But in some of the scenes, if you saw more, you would have understood what was going on a little bit sooner, I think. And it would have, sort of like almost spoiled the ride a little bit. So I don't know. No. I mean, because you got an hour. And that's my opinion.
No, I know. No, I'm just saying I disagree.
No.
It's because you got almost 2 hours to play with here. Okay, you got plenty of time to fuck with people's heads as to what they think they're seeing, as to what they are seeing, as to what they think they're hearing, as to what they are hearing. I just think that the incredible sound design in this movie far outweighs the visuals of this film. I think this is a movie that's far better to listen to than to watch.
Well, I feel like, I mean, I'm not shitting on your opinion, but I feel like the reason they focus so much on the sound design was to enhance what you're seeing, because it is dark. So instead of, because, hearing is one of our senses, like we don't just need to, I almost said watch a movie with our eyes, but what I mean is experience a movie. We don't just experience it with our eyes, like I feel like that is a little overrated at times, because when you have sound design as good as this, I feel like that makes up for a lot of ground with a film that has a lot of darkness in it. But I mean, it's just, we're on different ends of the spectrum here in terms of where we sit. But Raven Shadow, it sounds like you were sort of on board with okay with the sort of darkness and how it was enhanced by the Earth's sun. No, by the Earth's sound.
in some of the scenes, like I was surprised how much they may have shown for some stuff.
Yeah,
and that's the thing with found footage. The genre knows, and it's the found footage genre. Like, how much do you see? And like, oh, they showed a lot of the red groovy. There was
yeah. I will say, one of the sounds, I guess, before we even see any blood, I think it was the first. I think it was before we even saw any blood. The sound that you hear that leads to the first, blood being drawn was like fucking like horrifying, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. So
absolutely terrifying. And you don't know if there's anything like supernatural or cosmic or science fiction related or paranormal, because unfortunately you don't know what the hell is going on and why it's happening.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, this is sort of a race to the finish to find out, to the finish line of the movie, and then you get hints and clues along the way. And I appreciated that, because I do feel if there was more shown, if it wasn't as dark, it would have buried the reveal. And
well,
yeah,
go ahead.
And there is one scene at like before everything goes down where if you could see that better, it's done. It's like, okay, well now I know what's happening, or I can understand,
And sometimes too, like, you're not necessarily hunting for the Blair Witch. You're not necessarily going into there's been 4 missing people in the catacombs. Let's go check it out. Like, it's almost like sometimes.
That's fair, because they weren't looking for it. They were just there to shoot some footage,
Right. They were doing, how many times have we gone to places? We've graveyards and shit to film, stuff or whatever. But they weren't on a quest for anything. This just happened to be there.
Yeah. No, exactly. And that's, once again, that makes it where is the Blair Witch? And, I don't want to compare these movies. I'm just using it as an example because we've already brought it up. But in that, yes, they're looking for legend, the legend of the Blair Witch, and they're trying to find out more about it. And in this, they're just going for fucking camping in the desert, and
to film a music video.
Right.
And let me just say this: the first 45 minutes of this mundane character study on these guys, the guy who's directing it isn't a very good cameraman to begin with, because he does a lot of close-up shots, full head shots, even half head shots. So you got to question the skill of the cameraman just to start with.
Well, I feel like Aries this week. Jeez, like I don't want to keep.
This is a nitpick as far as that goes. As far as whether or not this guy is skilled enough to actually film a music video.
Then I won't disagree with you. Then I'll just highlight. I feel on the flip side there was actually some really beautiful shots. One especially that stuck out to me was when Michelle was just laying on the desert floor, and it was sort of like almost like a upside down Dutch angle, like, you know, sort of like sideways upside down, like, and even when she was running away from the camera, you know, like running through the desert, and we get this low shot of the camera on the ground. I thought like some of that stuff I thought was really cool, and if it was a music video, I feel like that would have made for some really good shots. So I think on the flip side, there is some stuff, and, you know, I think when if we're just filming, like, I'm sort of that guy, I guess, like when, you know, back in the day, before, you know, I guess because let's say we did the days of the CryptoCast, right? Like, I used to just film random shit in hopes that something would be gold that we could put up on our video podcast, you know? So there's always that delicate balance of holding the shot long enough to get the good stuff and trying not to hold it too long where you get tons of bullshit, you know? So, you know, a lot of times you're not really framing the camera, or you're not really trying to get the best shot because you're almost haphazardly doing it because you're just like waiting for something cool to happen or waiting for something good, you know? Because if you were always on and framing everything perfectly, it would get fucking monotonous, and it would be like, I'm not doing this. Like, but if you're just sort of like doing it as like, oh, well, this is just kind of fun, maybe something good will come out of this and I'll get something funny that we can share, you know, in that case, I feel like you're not really going for perfect shots. You know, so I feel like I agree with you that that is the case, but I feel like those were the in-between moments where they weren't shooting a music video, or they weren't trying to do anything else other than document this trip. You know, so I could see both sides, but I also feel the flip side that there were some really well-shot scenes that would have made, that would have looked really good in a music video. Where do you sit on that, Raven Channel? Do you have thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Yes. To what you said.
Oh. I thought you were like, yes, I have thoughts. No, I'm not going to tell you about them.
Yeah, no, you gotta frame it. You gotta fucking, you know, look at things.
You gotta frame it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you know.
Do you think you actually put an actual frame over like someone's face when you shoot video of them?
Yeah, that's why you do the whole like thing like this. You can't see it 'cause it's an audio podcast, but remember they do the thing with the fingers like they would do in the L's, right?
Squaring up the shot.
Are you voguing?
I'm kind of like I'm voguing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you gotta look at things. It's a whole art form. There's schools for it.
Wow. You should go to one.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see. What about the performances? Because acting can make or break a found footage film, as we found out. Dash cam, you know, but like a lot of times it's a delicate balance. Once again, I mean, a lot of these found footage films, I think, are that is, you know, like you want it to feel realistic, but not acted, you know? So
right.
You guys have any thoughts about the realism of the performances?
Yeah. You know, I thought the one who played, or actually, since they all play in their, well, first of all, let me just say this. I think the fact that they all played themselves, as far as their first names go, you know, Bobby played Bobby, Angela played Angela, and that's you know, it's done in found footage all the time, but I mean, I just want to make a point of it that it's really smart to have the characters, to have the actors play the characters of themselves, because you react better to your own name, which gives out a more realistic performance. So to do that is a smart move to make. I think the one who played Angela was the best in the movie. I think she really gave a dynamite performance in this movie. Everyone else kind of just rolled with it. They just kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, this. But I think the one who played Angela was really, really good. There's one scene in this that's a highlight scene for her, where she is really belting it out, and she is really flipping out and losing it, and it looks so authentic. I mean, because I'm watching her, and I'm like, she's doing exactly what I would expect someone to do that's in this situation.
Yeah.
And I'm watching her eyes, I'm watching her body language, I'm watching her face and what she's saying and how she's saying it, the stuttering and the screaming, and it all makes sense with her. I thought she was dynamite. Really good performance by Angela in this movie. Everyone else kind of went with the punches. It was just kind of, they were playing themselves, obviously, but it just seemed like they were performing.
Yeah.
The other girl, what's her name? Michelle,
yeah.
Just singing. Bobby, and what's the other one's name? Billy, I think.
Robbie.
It
Robbie
Bobby
and Scott, I thought.
Scott.
Yeah, Robbie and Scott.
Yeah, I just thought that the remaining cast just kind of like phoned it in. They were being themselves, but they were being themselves on camera, and that gives a different that puts out a different vibe. Angela, on the other hand, I thought really did a great job in this movie.
I would agree. She may have had the strongest performance. Robbie wasn't on screen a lot. In the beginning he was, but I mean he was also he's the director of the actual movie of like the Outwaters, so it makes sense that he would be behind the camera most of the time. Yeah, I nothing in this was a bad performance. It didn't take me out. But I would agree probably. I think I know the scene you're talking about. Angela did have a really standout scene where the horror and the fear was legit, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
And that was terrifying. I mean, I don't know. I would agree that her performance was definitely a highlight reel. I'm not sure that just because they used their real names that they were playing air quotes themselves. I think they were playing the versions of their characters that had the same names, and I don't think they necessarily played a bad version because that's the roles they were. So I thought they were fine in the gimmick they were given. That was their marching orders. I think their trip was remarkably poorly planned. They went out into the desert and they should have had more supplies. They should have brought Ares with them, or at least they could have planned better for their excursion. But I had no problem with the performances at all. They did the role.
And so, I mean, we've talked about sort of like the core tenets of a found footage, the conceit, the performances, the buy-in, and I guess the ending, the reveal is the other one that we need to sort of discuss without getting into detail. I'm trying to tiptoe.
Yeah.
This had elements of cosmic horror, I might say, with a healthy helping of like Lovecraft.
Yeah.
In its sort of unbridled journey through fear, that I think to me is what stands out the most about it. And so let me just find, let me look at the hashtag, or like the sort of tagline on the poster is, we all die in the dark. So I think that if that's sort of like their like tagline, so to speak, I feel like they delivered on that, because everybody, I mean, I think we talked about this. Did we talk about this last week or recently? But I think everyone has a fear of the dark, and we talked about, like, I think one of you guys brought up like cavemen. Like, was you guys, or maybe I had this conversation with T-Dog. I don't remember actually. It was recent. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, it was T-Dog, because we actually watched the trailer for this. I wanted to see if she was interested in watching it with me, and in the trailer, one of the like quotes that is featured in it says it's a very, very primal movie. And when I didn't think much of it, but T-Dog is very much into language and meaning and understanding it. And primal is like a primal fear. A primal fear is something that we've had instilled in us since eons ago, like cavemen, right? So back then, there was no light, like even before fire or something like that. Like, so I would imagine you have no fucking clue what's going to come out of the dark. And I'm sure most people were petrified of the dark, or at least had a healthy fear of it. And I feel like that is what plays a large role in this film, is kind of almost preying on that primal fear. And the fact that, with it being the tagline, everybody dies in the dark, I feel it heightens your other senses as well. And as we talked about with the sound design as being phenomenal, I think that it really makes you heighten those other senses to try to understand what's going on. And in terms of a Lovecraftian sort of, type of horror, I feel this is successful in that way, because it does keep you guessing, what the fuck am I seeing? Like, what is going on? Like, you can hear it and you can create that in your mind. You create what's making that sound in your mind. And that is almost more horrifying than if they had shown it. So for me, that's kind of where I'm at with this. I feel it is a really strong representation of that primal fear of the dark, and a Lovecraftian style of horror in which you yourself, your imagination, is what is driving your fear, because what you can imagine, because it challenges everybody to put their fear on the table and engage with this movie in that way. Almost like how we talked about, in that way, in that case, I would put this in the same sort of sentence as Skinamarink, because in that, we are forced to once again put our own fears on the line and engage with the movie in that way, because we all had the fear, when we were kids or whatever, about like our parents being gone or like whatever, we all had those fears that we dealt with. But in this, it deals with a very primal fear. And I think that enables us to let our minds go crazy to think about what it is out in the dark, or what are those sounds that we're hearing. So for me, I feel like this really worked pretty well, the ending and how they pulled it off.
I wasn't too keen on the ending, because I just feel like all this time was taken in, and I would have liked to have something a little bit more fleshed out.
And that's fair. I mean,
or Yeah, go ahead.
They do a lot of this is left to the imagination, and if connecting dots. I mean, I would love to talk about what we think was going on. It's not super unknown. Like I feel like they did a good job of like actually showing you, but it's a matter of putting the pieces together to get to that point and going, oh, okay, that's it.
Yeah, I get that, but also at almost 2 hours long, you got more than enough time to showcase to showcase to the audience what it is you're showing.
Yep.
I think if a lot less time was spent on character development and a lot more time was spent on fleshing out what this big mystery is, what the fear is, what these four characters have been dealing with overnight, I think it would have been a lot better. Because for almost 2 hours, we shouldn't have to use our imaginations at this point to figure out what is this, what is that. I think that if I just feel like, for 2 hours, if you leave it up to the audience to make up their own mind as to what it is that's going on, then I think you've made the story a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. And I think that's one of the bigger problems of this movie, unfortunately.
All right.
Raven Shadow, what do you think?
Yeah, how about you, Raven Shadow?
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
Oh my god,
he disappeared. Well, since he's gone, let me just bring it.
Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to bring up the whole connotation between this film and Skinamarink. And I think what's happening is what we have here is a new type of horror film that's going to be coming out, that's being made now. It's like some sort of experimental found footage, first-person perspective filmmaking. Because they are similar in certain regards, but they're separate stories. But they do have some connections between the two. And the strange thing is that the director of Skinamarink knew nothing of this movie being made.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah,
and so the fact that these two movies that are so similar in certain ways coming out together within a few weeks of each other, maybe there's something developing here in the horror genre that we should be paying more attention to.
Yeah.
Are you saying this overall plot?
Huh?
Oh, look who decided to
Yeah,
come
you
back.
can't just fucking waltz in and make some asinine statement.
Yeah.
Especially when we asked you a question and you weren't there to answer.
No, I heard a little bit of it, but I had to excuse myself.
Well, you didn't excuse yourself. You just left. That's what you mean.
Well, I put my fingers up. I said, I'll be right back.
Yeah, but I always have multiple windows up. I don't always look at you when I'm podcasting.
You should be looking at me.
And what about the listeners who are listening to the podcast? What can they see your finger?
They only do. They don't know until you point it out with a finger. Sometimes.
No, they do when I ask you a question and you're not there.
Who asked the question? Was it you or Monster Zero?
Monster Zero asked, and I was like, yeah, I'd like to hear Raven Shadow. And then he's like, oh, it'd be nice to hear him, but he's gone.
What's the question?
Well, no, we're past it now. So
yeah, I don't remember.
All right, we'll find.
I was gonna say something about what you just said, MC, or I don't remember now, but thrown off. Raven Shadow, you've changed ever since you watched the wrong movie. I feel like
I've changed.
I feel like that was like the point in which you are now on like a different trajectory than us. You're like you're in like, this is Bizarro Raven Shadow.
I had to go to the bathroom.
You fractured off into a different version of yourself, but we stayed the same.
I think I'm remarkably the same in lots of ways. But okay.
Evil Corny says, "Bless your heart."
I know what that means, Corny.
All right, so
Matthew.
the question, Raven Shadow, did the ending work for you?
Yeah, and it's a good question, Monster Zero. And I would just take it back to what I said before. Like, sometimes you're looking for the Blair Witch, and sometimes you're making a music video. And I think that's part of the surprise for us watching the found footage in this genre. That's the found footage genre.
Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't. Right?
I'm so glad that we waited to hear your thoughts.
Say, is that yeah.
Oh, I think I remember what I was going to say. It was the Skinamarink comment talking about how the funny thing is too, Skinamarink, as we mentioned, wasn't supposed to come out until Halloween, but then it got leaked online, and IFC and Shudder wanted to sort of, capitalize on the viral momentum that it had been getting. So
Skinamarink.
Dynamite dropping. Thanks.
That was funny. Come on, I'm sorry.
I didn't even hear what you said. Skinama-rink? What? Skinama-dink? Skinama-teeth?
Isn't that a Megadeth song? No, Skinama leaked.
What?
Skinama.
Don't encourage him, Wolfie. Please.
I don't even know what he's saying. He laughed, and I don't see what like.
Let it be a mystery for the rest of your life.
So that's the interesting thing, is that these did end up coming out right around each other when, if the schedule had, if they had released when they were supposed to, there would have been a good 10 months between them. But I do think MZ's observation, I think that there's something in the zeitgeist, in the culture, that I'm not sure what it is. Maybe it's people who grew up with or interacted with like creepypasta, like that to me is a bit of a more sort of abstract horror in some ways, because it's sort of like myth and legend, but they're like potentially not real ones, like it's let me just I just want to pull up a definition real quick. Creepypasta are horror-related legends that have been shared around the internet. Creepypastas become a catch-all term for any horror content posted onto the internet. These internet entries are often brief, user-generated paranormal stories intended to scare readers. They include gruesome tales of murder, suicide, and otherworldly occurrences. The subject of creepypasta varies widely and can include topics such as ghosts, murder, zombies, rituals to summon paranormal entities, and haunted television shows and video games. Creepypasta range in length from a single paragraph to lengthy multi-part series that can span multiple media types. So, and the first big creepypasta, I think, was the Slender Man. Yeah. I think was like, if not the first, one of the better known ones. So, like, I wonder if this is now seeping its way into other avenues of media. Like, I'm not saying that this is a new thing, but I wonder if, because they could have been, I'm not a purveyor of creepypasta, so I don't really, I'm not really sure how in depth it gets, but I imagine that they could be sort of like a modern day Lovecraftian sort of thing where you input your own sort of like fear into it, So I'm not saying that that's it. I'm not making a bold statement and saying that creepypasta has influence over the some of the films that are being made, but it could be an influence because things don't happen right away. Like, they have to exist and sort of be, and then eventually it will enter the zeitgeist, the greater zeitgeist, and of the social sort of shared universe, if you will. Do you guys have any thoughts about that? If this is a thing, like, could it have been creepypasta? Could it have been something else?
It could be from just about anywhere, really. Creepypasta is a good start, I think. You know, these things kind of generate on their own, you know.
Yeah, it is.
But,
It is curious. I mean,
but it's possible. Possible.
We can't say for sure because there's only been, and to be fair, I don't think that this movie shares a lot with Skinamarink, other than the fact that it both movies, I feel, have you sort of insert your own fear into the movie to really engage with it, So that to me, there are some similarities. This one is more of a traditional film, whereas Skinamarink was very non-traditional in the way that it was filmed. So, I think that comparing them isn't necessarily fair, but saying that they have like this, like come from the same spirit, I guess, or the same spirit of filmmaking could be real, a thing.
There were no Legos in this movie.
No.
Good call, Raven Shadow.
Are you okay if I use the term zeitgeist, Raven Shadow? It's a German word. I just want to make sure. Is that okay?
Yeah, he's the guy from fucking X-Force.
It's by the way, I don't want to assume everybody knows what it means. I assume Raven Shadow doesn't know, but it's the spirit of the age. It's an invisible agent, force, or demon dominating the characteristics of a given epoch in world history. So it's basically like the social consciousness. What's in the social consciousness now? The zeitgeist changes, over time. So the spirit of this age, of this generation, is sort of, what we're talking about.
Durr.
All right, I think we could probably, now that we've kind of touched on like the four pillars of found footage, you like that?
Funny to me.
All right, I think we should probably do a verdict on this one and find out where everyone sits in terms of their rating.
Trick or treat, baby. I wonder if people would say you're a trick or a treat.
Trick or treat, motherfucker.
All right, verdict time. We're going to let you know whether the Outwaters was a trick or a treat. And any final thoughts? Let's start with Monster Zero.
Another little nitpick that I have is that there's very little to almost no proof that these people went out there to shoot a music video. They have their cameras, they have their crew, if you want to call them that. And yes, the girl does sing every now and again to the camera, but there's nothing there to actually establish the fact that they're shooting a music video out there. That's just another nitpick I figured I'd throw out there. There's a lot of things that are disappointing in this movie. To me, I just felt like, first of all, I think it's way too long. I think 45-minute introduction to the characters is far too long. This should have been cut in half, maybe even more than that. It's only 4 people. You're not doing the cast of Police Academy, okay? So it's 4 people. You don't need 45 minutes for 4 people. The camera work, while I do appreciate shaky camera work because it does lend credibility to the horror that's going on, I just feel, man, I feel like the director just didn't want to give us enough. That he just wanted to have us think in our heads what it is that's out there, which was, I don't even want to say it. I don't even want to say it because it'll be a bit of a spoiler. But from that point on, it was mostly disappointing. You got Angela, who I thought put in the best performance in the entire film. And of course, there is also the sound design. Now, does the sound design save this movie? No. The gore is good. The gore is fantastic. It's a little unusual from time to time, where I felt like it's more of a splash on the ground variety, rather than something that could seem somewhat, logistic or real. But going back to that sound design, I cannot praise that enough. Fantastic work. This is a disappointment to me. I wish this was better, and it's really a disappointment to me. It does have some things going for it. There is tension, there is horror, there's a lot of blood, but I just feel like we should have gotten more of why things are happening, what's happening, and I think the ending should have been fleshed out just a whole lot more. Instead, the director wanted us to think about what it was, and I would accept that, but at almost 2 hours long, he should have put this in. There's just no excuse for it. Now, I'm really geared up to find out what this guy has up his sleeve next, because he does have some promise, but I just feel like this film is a disappointment. So I'm gonna have to say that this is a tepid trick,
or barely
a trick.
Okay,
barely a trick.
All right,
it's been a year. Okay.
That's fair. All right, Raven Shadow, how about you? What's your verdict on the Outwaters?
So I think something to reiterate. So this was the first-time director, correct? This was his
first-time feature. I mean, he's done some shorts, and he did a movie that was 59 minutes, so not quite a feature, I guess.
Okay, so even from a first-time feature perspective, it's still, this is a first-timer. And I'm not saying I disagree with everything Monster Zero said, just most of it. No, yeah, long. Yep, I'm with you on some character stuff and some of the length that could have been, other decisions could have been made, but I didn't make the movie. And overall, I kind of saw it was two dudes wanting to get a couple of chicks and go camping for the weekend. But I was along for the ride, and we said it before, I'll say it again. Sometimes you're expecting a Blair Witch, and sometimes you're just not. And I think this was a not case. Good gore, and yeah, the sound was great. And I'm not a big sound mark, but it was well done. Don't need to like the characters, but we just needed to know who they were, get a sense of why they were there. So, yeah, I think it was. If you are super, you want to find a fix after Deadstream. I'm not saying this is the next level, but you could do worse with doing a double feature between this and Deadstream and fuck Dashcam. So I would say this is still a treat. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
All right. So for me, this was a treat. I will agree. At an hour and 50 minutes ish, I think there could have been a good. I think if this is 90 minutes, this is. I think this is a super, super solid movie. Now, I didn't. But I will say I didn't feel the beginning overstayed its welcome, getting to know the characters, because I think they changed location, like and for me that sort of took care of it. If it was all in like one apartment or a house or something, I think that would have definitely gotten a little bit too much. But I feel like because they changed and they went to go visit the mom, and then we're in the desert for a little while, walking around and going to find their spots. I feel like it mostly kept me engaged. So I will agree. I think they absolutely could have cut a good 10 to 15 minutes off of that first 45 minutes. But what takes place after, I think, is really interesting, and I don't know that I would have cut anything in the final hour. Maybe some stuff here and there, but I feel that that's when we first hear those sounds in the distance. That's when I feel that this movie really starts to pick up and it hits a really good pace. And the final 15 to 20 minutes are almost relentless. Like, it's very this is a movie that is going to exhaust some people, I think. Like, after they watch it, they're going to be like, holy shit, like, I'm fucking done, I'm spent, especially if you're really engaged and really on board with everything they're doing. So I do feel that everything in the final hour worked really well, and I really liked I guess we'll call it the reveal. You guys are I know I sometimes make outlandish comparisons, and you guys are going to probably love this one. I don't mean it's nowhere in the same sentence as this movie, but I feel like the last 15 to 20 minutes of this movie was like almost like a horror version of 2001 Space Odyssey. When I can't really say too much about what happens, but when Robbie is sort of like going through the last bits of this, like I get like almost like a Dave Bowman from 2001, where he's just kind of along for the ride and seeing what's going on, and like it's sort of things that are maybe out of his control and they're a little crazy, and there's some like, what the fuck is that? Like, what is going on here? And like I said, I'm not comparing the two movies, but that it gave me that vibe. It's like a horror found footage sort of like vibe of that, and complete with some nice lighting, some nice lights at one point. But I actually really dug this, and you know what? Like, it's funny because it's always interesting to figure out what you guys are gonna like say about a movie. I don't know why. I thought this one was going to really resonate with MZ. I felt like this was almost like a no-brainer MZ like treat. I don't know why. As I was watching, I was like, I think MZ's going to love this. So I think that's why I was a little bit taken aback when a lot of it didn't work for you. But you made some very strong points, and I understand why it didn't work for you for those things,
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, this one seemed like almost like a no-brainer. MZ's gonna fucking love this movie, and I was like, so but it's always, that's why we do this. That's why we do the discussions, and it's always interesting to figure out where people stand. And yeah, like I liked how vague this movie was. For me, that's a strength. And if they had told you everything, I feel like it would have felt like it was hand holding, and it didn't trust the viewer to know what was like to try to put the pieces together. And that's, I think, another element of what makes this movie stand out in the genre known as the found footage genre. I think it makes it stand out because of that. And some other found footage might do that, but I feel like this one really, it's like, okay, viewer, and that's why they say, like, let me see if I can find one of the tweets. I was looking at tweets from the Outwaters Twitter account. Yeah, and it says here, this is their pinned tweet on the Outwaters, at the Outwaters Twitter. In order to fully appreciate our film, we do recommend watching on the biggest screen possible, turning off all the lights, putting away your phone, and turning up the volume. There's a lot to see and hear in the darkness, and then in the burning, bitter sun. So, you know, like, I feel like just by stating that, you know, granted, I mean, it's not on the, you know, the box or the poster. It doesn't say this. So you know, you would have had to read their tweet. But I feel like that says all it needs to say. It's like, okay, get off your fucking phone, engage, like, pay attention and watch this fucking movie, and it's going to take you for a ride. You may really like it, maybe you won't like it. But if you're along for the ride and you give us the investment, it'll pay off. You know, and I feel like nowadays, like, for them to have to say that is like, come on, people. You know, like, sit down and watch a fucking movie. Like, get engaged, get engrossed, watch it, like, pay attention. Like, the fact that they have to say that, it's just crazy to me, you know? But, you know, in this day and age, I get it. I mean, I do it too. I, like, believe me, like, I'm not saying, like, holier than thou. I never, you know, have my phone on me when I'm watching TV or a movie or something. But when I'm doing one for the show, you know, I'd like to sit down and really pay attention, because I want to be able to discuss it, you know, in a way that I want to engage with it and to allow it to sort of sink in, and then to be able to discuss. You know, and that's how I prefer to do my movies. And, you know, as we all used to go to the theater back in the day, a lot of times we'd go together, and that's the best fucking way, right? Like, to watch a movie still. Like, I love the convenience of Netflix and Screenbox and Shudder and all these other, like, avenues of being able to watch movies, but nothing is going to replace that cinematic experience. And I feel like we're getting further and further away because of COVID. And, you know, like, now everyone's just like, well, fuck it, I can just watch a movie at home. I just got to wait. Like, I'm going to announce in just a minute what our movie is next week. And it's a movie that just hit theaters like 3 weeks ago. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I thought we were going to have to wait months for this, you know? But that's just the way it is now, you know? And fortunate, I guess it depends on where you stand. I don't mind waiting for a movie, you know? But I also haven't been to the theater since the pandemic. You know, like, it's not, it's not that I wouldn't go. I probably would go for like a movie I really want to see now, but I guess there haven't really been that many. And I can just say, you know what, like, it's just going to be out on digital in a few weeks or something, or a couple weeks. So I'll just wait. So, I mean, I guess I'm part of the problem, but you know what I mean? Like, I feel like we're losing that medium of really being engaged in film, in cinema, you know? So, let me see. We just got a comment on YouTube. True Bacon Force says, "Hey guys, oh man, I came in near the end. Stupid late class. I watched some classic horror movies recently. The Hills Have Eyes and Requiem for a Dream. You guys are awesome." Requiem for a Dream. That's a comedy, right? And then True Bacon Force says, "I know I missed the movie theater so much." So, yeah, I mean, I guess I went a little bit off on a tangent there, a little off topic, but you know, reading that tweet about this is how you should watch our movie, it just kind of like, it makes me miss the theater, and it also makes me angry that they have to actually say that, you know. So
it's almost like when you get a cup of coffee from Dunkin' Donuts, contents a hut.
Yep. yeah. Or like the rearview mirror, right? Like,
yeah. When you see a movie, don't talk and watch the motherfucker, because you paid for it.
And let's see, our boy Casual Noob, he says, "I'm going to watch again. You sold me, Wolfie. I still stand by my review." All right, well, we're going to hear from Casual Noob in just a few minutes. But that is going to do it. For me, it was a treat, and I didn't get a chance to watch this with T-Dog, but I think I want to. I think this is one that I might watch again soon if we have some time to check out a movie in the next week or two. So, all right, well, that's going to wrap up our discussion of the Outwaters. It is available on Screambox. You guys can go check it out there. If you don't have a Screambox account, you can get a free trial. I got mine through Amazon Prime Video, and you can also rent it. It is available for rent if you just want to just go and go to Amazon Prime or Apple TV or whatever. You can just rent it as well. So whatever way works best for you. But I think this is a movie for found footage films. Absolutely, check this out. Don't miss this one. Whether it's going to work for you, but that's TBD. But and just fans of horror, especially of like I mentioned, if you like Lovecraftian horror or maybe even creepypasta. Like I said, I'm not super well versed, but I feel like that section of people who are really into creepypastas could find this interesting as well. All right, so that is going to wrap up our discussion. Now, next week, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about a film that was literally in theaters, just popped in theaters a couple weeks ago. So next week, and I'm actually trying to think, I don't think we have ever discussed one of this director's films on the show anyways. He is a very divisive filmmaker, and I would say that his films were probably universally loved for the first, 3? Was it 4? I guess I'll have to look up and see what the fourth one was. But anyways, we're going to be doing Knock at the Cabin, the latest film from M. Night Shyamalan. And it just hit digital, too much to my surprise. I was looking to see if anything new had just come out, before the show, to see, are we going to do the film that was slated to, or is there something else that, maybe would take its slot? And so Knock at the Cabin is available on digital. It's one of those premium purchases, I think is sort of what they call it. So if you want to rent it, it's going to be like one of those $19.99 deals. It's because it's still in theaters. So if you would prefer to stay at home, and instead of paying $50 to go to the theater, whatever that costs these days, if you want to just rent it at home, you can do that $19.99 deal and check it out. So we'll be talking about Knock at the Cabin from M. Night Shyamalan. And I actually just saw that his daughter just got a movie deal. She's making a horror movie now. And apparently she worked with him on Servant, the show on Apple TV Plus, which I've heard a lot of mostly good things, but some mixed things. But yeah, I guess she's been working on that with him. But let me see. So now that we've mentioned the director, he did have 2 movies prior to Sixth Sense, but they weren't really, no one, I don't think anyone's seen them, or at least right. The Sixth Sense was his big breakthrough. And then he did Unbreakable, and then he did Signs. So that's what I was saying. After Signs, I think, is when people started to sort of break off. And then The Village was the one where people, I think, were getting sick of his bullshit.
I'm sure we'll talk more next week.
Yes, we will. Yeah.
I like The Village.
Well, I did too, but I think that's the one where people were kind of like, "Come on, man, really?"
See, I think that ending popped for me.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the greater, the greater audience.
The consensus.
Yeah. And The Village, I think, is the one where it started to diverge.
All right, well,
just because you don't feel that way doesn't mean others didn't.
No, don't yell at me. We're on the same team.
No, we're not. I'm on Team Watch the Right Movie. You're on the wrong one.
Hey.
See, things broke off. You're in another timeline now. You're gonna have to fucking go Flashpoint on our asses.
God damn it!
But yeah, after that, then it was like Lady in the Water, The Happening, or The Fappening, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And then,
What happening?
and then The Happening, people were like, "Fuck this dude," and then he went and did The Last Airbender because he's like, "All right, I'm done with horror." Then After Earth, and then The Visit was his sort of return. But yeah, we'll talk more about this next week, so we'll have to get into him now. But yeah, so next week we are going to do the latest film from M. Night, Knock at the Cabin, starring Big Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista.
Jonathan Groff as well, and Rupert Grint.
Oh shit! It's Weasley, right?
What's his name?
Shit.
Ron.
Ron
Weasley, yes.
Captain.
So you're going to call him Weasley next week now, right? Or Harry Potter. What are you going to call him?
Ginger 4000.
Ginger. All right, so we'll do that next week. So if you guys check it out, feel free to send your voice message to podcast@trickortreatradio.com. Let us know your thoughts. If you want to talk more about, like, generally your thoughts about M. Night, you can include those as well. And be curious to hear what you guys think. And we'll be discussing it next week. All right. Now, we actually, so we only have one bit of feedback. And it is a video from our boy Casual Noob. So I got to get that queued up. I'm just going to double check to see, because sometimes we get voice messages during the show. And I don't think we got any. Yeah, I don't think we got any this week. It's always surprising because we usually get at least one or two or three. So no voice message, but we will hear from Noob. So let me just get this all queued up. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not gonna. I was gonna ask one of you guys for a story, but I feel like as soon as you get into the story, I'm gonna be ready to do this. So I'll just kind of kill some time here, and I love that Casual Noob sends in these videos.
Yeah.
So if anyone else wants to get in on the action, I mean, that's weird. It highlighted the wrong program. All right. Well, let me. I was going to.
Another perspective. Another way to contribute.
Exactly. So we appreciate him doing that, and if anyone else wants to, feel free. You could just post it on YouTube. You can just send us the video if it's not too big through email, or just put it on like some cloud storage, Google Drive, Dropbox, whatever, and send us a link. All right, cool. I think we're good. So let me go ahead and push this live, and then let's hear from Casual Noob.
The Outwaters. I keep wanting to say the Outer Waters. But it was the Outwaters. And it's an exclusive for Screambox subscription service, which is a horror subscription service. So basically, spoiler alert, I did not enjoy this movie. And I'll tell you why I didn't enjoy this movie.
Too dark.
Basically, it's basically what I would call the genre of the found footage movies, where basically people are filming their actual experiences straight from cameras and phones, and that's the perspective that you get of it. And it's kind of like something happens and there's some footage of it, so it's going to be one of those things. But basically, you watch this movie and you're hoping, well, if you're wanting a good story, you're hoping that some sort of story is going to emerge from this. Basically, it's a bunch of people. One of them is a musician, and I guess they're going to the desert to film a music video for the girl song. Which, by the way, the song that the girl does in the movie is really good. It's pretty good for a song that they just threw together for the movie. It might be something that I might even listen to myself. But so okay, so they did found footage. That's fine. But the thing with a lot of these found footage movies, I mean, Blair Witch was a found footage movie, and that was filmed in the middle of, the woods, and you were able to see what was going on for the most part. There was lighting. In this movie, they're in the desert, these people, and it's pitch black. So all you have is, like, I'm filming a video right now on my camera phone, from my phone. They have, I guess, like, phones and cameras that way, but like there's like that little flashlight that you get on that, and that's how you can see stuff in the desert. So you can't see anything to see what's going on. So I'm watching the movie the whole time going, what the hell is going on? I mean, and then when they did show, because they would cycle back to daytime because of what was going on, you could see it. It was fine, and you understood kind of what was going on, even when it got very strange towards the end, and they were in the daytime, but at least you could see what was going on. But still, I finished this movie, and I don't know what happened to these people. Maybe I don't know. There was some sort of sign in the end, but a lot of the sign was covered up, and you couldn't really read what was on it. But I guess you could like piece together like a few words of what may have been going on. But you just didn't know what was going on in this movie. I couldn't understand it. If I had to rate this as a trick or a treat, if there is a level below trick, that is where this is. This is below a trick. This is below a trick because I could not understand what I was watching. If I could understand what I was watching, maybe I could give it a rating. Couldn't understand it. Maybe that's just me being old. Anyway, this is Casual Noob Cybot signing out. Have a good one. Later.
Wow.
All right. Well, there we go. So, and just to, shit, did we? Of course, it's not fucking. I pushed it live. It'll go live in a second. There we go. Jesus Christ. Everything's taking fucking forever today. So he did say in the chat room, he said, I'm going to watch again. You sold me, Wolfie. But I still stand by my review. So he is going to give it another shot. I really wish I could give my thoughts about what happened. But I feel like it's still such a new movie. And I really like going into a film experience without knowing if you can do that. I think that's a great way to do it. So I just don't want to put any thoughts in anyone's head who hasn't seen it yet. And I think that's the best way to do it. So I mean, we've already sort of addressed some of what Casual Noob had said. I mean, just one thing I want to say is if we were in the desert and we had our phones, that is exactly what it would look like. Like like when they're out at night, they're not going to get like elaborate lighting set up, and chances are they were probably only going to film during the day anyways for the video because, I mean, as far as I know, they didn't have any any equipment to film at night. So, they just weren't. That's if it was well lit, it wouldn't be realistic. So that's sort of the once again that tightrope you walk. If you want to make it look realistic and make a found footage film, then you have to do that, because if you have great lighting and you could see everything in a fucking desert, it's not realistic. So, it's sort of like I understand the complaint. Totally understand it. It's just one of those things that, like if you went in the other direction, some people would be pissed that you could see too much. It's not realistic enough, So that's, but he did say he's going to give it another shot. So, but there you go. If you change your mind, Casual Noob, let us know. And True Bacon Force says, I like the movie Signs from M. Night. Yeah, I think Signs is really good. I know Raven Chow's favorite. Would it be Unbreakable?
Yeah.
I figured.
Yeah.
And MZ, just guessing, is yours Sixth Sense?
No.
No? What's your favorite movie from him?
If you've never seen it before, Sixth Sense is really, really great. Unbreakable.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. MZ likes a superhero movie. Wow.
It's just a very well done movie.
It's fucking beautiful. It's great. Yeah. And actually, I guess that's technically not horror,
We all saw that together, right? Did we all see that? A bunch of us.
I think so. I mean, I think we all saw it together.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that's it for voice messages. Let me just try to close out the chat rooms. Just make sure we didn't get anything else at the last moment here. Casual Noob says, I couldn't spoil the movie because I couldn't see what was going on. So, all right, I was a little nervous that we get some spoilers, but
good point.
If you want, I don't know. I think Casual Noob. I think he's on Discord. Maybe I'll start a spoiler discussion in our spoiler channel on the Discord. That way we can kind of discuss. That's the best way to do it. So people can join if they want to. If they don't have to. So, all right. Do you guys have anything else before we wrap up?
Nope.
Not really.
Not really. I see MZ's getting ready for bed. He looks like he could pass out right there. Do you ever sleep in that chair, MZ?
No. Yeah, I've slept in this chair before.
On purpose?
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't sure if you just fell asleep in the chair and didn't mean to, but all right. Let's see. All right. So I think we're good. We're all caught up on chat. Appreciate everybody who tuned in. I know we were late, so I think we lost some people because we were late. But for folks listening on the podcast, if you watch live, we've been better about being on time, but not quite always on time. But all right, well there you have it. Let's go around and say our goodbyes, starting with Monster Zero.
Arrivederci, douchebags.
All right, Raven Shadow.
Live fast, love hard, survive with your mask on.
All right, so that is gonna do it. That wraps up the show. Episode 552. Appreciate everyone who tuned in live, everyone who hung out, and also Casual Noob for sending in his thoughts about the movie. And just to reiterate, next week we'll be talking about the new M. Night movie, Knock at the Cabin. So if you guys want to give it a look and send us your feedback, your thoughts, your reviews, your thoughts about M. Night, your most hated film, your most loved, feel free to send it podcast@trickortreatradio.com. Consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.trickortreatradio.com, and all that goodness. So, all right, well, that is going to wrap up the episode. Appreciate you guys, especially our Patreon supporters. I love you guys, and we will see you next week.